George Washington, the indispensable man. Birth: born on February 22, 1732, in Pope's Creek, Virginia. He wasn't born into royalty. He was the son of a middle-class planter. The loss of a father. At age 11, his father died. While his older half-brothers went to England for elite schooling, George stayed home. This disadvantage shaped his grit. Education and teachers. He was mostly self-taught. His notebooks from age 13 show he was obsessed with geometry, geography, and moral conduct. The rules of civility. He famously copied 110 rules of civility by hand. His attitude toward teachers and elders was one of extreme discipline and respect. He believed that a man's reputation was his greatest currency. The young surveyor. At 16, he began surveying the wild frontiers. This taught him how to survive in the wilderness, sleep on the ground, and understand the American landscape, skills that would later win the war. The fire of war. The soldier's journey. Initial failures. In his early 20s, Washington fought for the British against the French. He actually made mistakes that helped spark the French and Indian War. Learning from defeat, he surrendered at Fort Necessity. However, he didn't quit. He watched how the British military operated, learned their weaknesses, and developed his own leadership style. Physical presence. Standing 6 feet 2 inches, he was a giant of his time. He was known as the best horseman in the colonies. His presence alone commanded silence and respect in any room. The call to revolution. Commander-in-Chief, 1775. The colonies were in chaos. They needed a leader. Washington arrived at the Continental Congress in his military uniform, a silent signal that he was ready to fight. The impossible task. He was given an army of farmers, blacksmiths, and boys. They had no shoes, no gunpowder, and no formal training. The strategy of patience. Washington knew he couldn't beat the British in a direct fight. His genius was survival. If the army lived, the revolution lived. Valley Forge. Described the winter of 1777. Men were dying of smallpox and starvation. Washington stayed in the snow with them. He didn't retreat to a warm house. This loyalty created a bond that made his soldiers follow him into hell. The victory and the great gesture. Yorktown and resignation. The final blow. With the help of the French, Washington trapped the British at Yorktown in 1781. The world's greatest empire surrendered to a self-taught surveyor. The moment of choice. This is the most important part of his story. After the war, his officers wanted to make him king. Giving up power. In a move that shocked the world, including King George III, Washington resigned his commission and went back to his farm. He proved that the cause was about liberty, not his own ego. The legacy. The father of his country retirement. He spent his final years at Mount Vernon improving his farm and thinking about the future of the country. Death. He passed away on December 14, 1799. Even on his deathbed, he was calm and dignified. Conclusion for the video. End with a powerful summary. Washington wasn't the smartest or the best orator, but he was the strongest character. He taught us that leadership is not about having power, but about self-control and service. The legacy. The father of his country retirement. He spent his final years at Mount Vernon improving his farm and thinking about the future of the country. Death. He passed away on December 14, 1799. Even on his deathbed, he was calm and dignified. Conclusion for the video. End with a powerful summary. Washington wasn't the smartest or the best orator, but he was the strongest character. He taught us that leadership is not about having power, but about self-control and service.